Right, good morning. Here we are again on the canal walk. It's Al with you from Al's Electronic Shepshed Experience. Good morning, all you Shepshedians. We're going to carry on doing this, a look at where the canal actually went. And last time I finished off where the only tangible proof that there was a canal was down by the footpath, what would have been the towpath. So we're going back to Al's headquarters. We're going to look at a couple of maps, and then I'm going to try and trace where the actual canal went. So over now to Al in the studio. I do get about, you know. Okay. We're looking at a map of Shepshed around 1884, and this is the path we took on part one of the canal walk. And that little bit there is the towpath. That is Charnwood Road. Now, today we're going to look at the path that it takes around, and it arcs around here. And believe it or not, we have still got the arc. Let me just, that's it. Right, so there's Charnwood Road. And the canal took a path right through the cemetery, which it wasn't the cemetery then, and right round. And this picks up Conway Drive. And the Conway Drive follows the arc of the old canal, which is, I found that fascinating. I don't know if Davises, who developed the site, actually knew that, but it's fascinating that the arc is the same or near enough. So let's just flash back to if I get that right. As I say, that's the way, that now is basically Conway Drive. And we'll pick it up on the walk. So let's get walking. As I say, here we are on a very busy junction, Anson Road and Charnwood Road, and that's the towpath, and that's where we left it last time. I want you to try and imagine there's no traffic, there's no houses, we're stood by the canal. Can you do that for me? I'm going to twist the camera around, and where I'm facing, which is now the cemetery, but if you look straight down, let's see if we can do that. Right, roughly speaking, that is where the canal would take its route. So it came across Charnwood Road, or under it, and it carries on down to what is now Belver Drive, or Beaver Drive. So we're going to pick it up there. And as I say, if you can imagine being in the middle of what is the middle of a field, Anson Road wouldn't be here. It'd be all really fields, and let's give you a bit of an idea what it might have been like. And I would imagine the footpath went round and down there and through what was then not the cemetery. It was a cemetery, but not as large as it is now. So I'll give you a few details about the canal a bit later on, and we'll pick it up on Beaver Drive. Right, here we are on Beaver Drive, and this basically is a rough idea of where the canal used to run. And we're going to walk up here because it used to come around the back of the cemetery as it was then, and through there. Of course, the ground now is nothing like. It's very hard to visualise how the ground looked then, and the fact that it's impossible to imagine there was a canal here. But there was, and although it wasn't used a long time, it was in use. So it used to come out the back here, and it's although there's no tangible evidence that there was a canal here, you'd never know. If you remember looking at the maps that I put out, This is where, of course, it's all overgrown now. It would come out. So there'd be a towpath like the one we walked at behind King's Road, and you can still walk it. You can still imagine how it might be. Of course, there were no buildings up here at all, which is very hard to visualise. And that walks back onto Anson Road, but we're not bothered about that. We're going to carry on walking down this way, and I'll try and give you some information later on about the towpath and why the canal was built. Of course, the railways more than superseded it, because they took over, obviously. But this is basically where it went. You can imagine it, you can walk it. What I found out was I was quite surprised, to be honest, Shepshedians, that Conway Drive actually follows the route of the canal, as you saw on that old map back at podcast headquarters. And this is about the route that it took. I don't know whether or not Davis's, who developed this land in the early 70s, whether they knew that the canal ran here, but it's quite unusual that the route it follows the canal. So here we go, as we're walking up here. It's very difficult to know roughly, to be exact, where it all ran, but this is as near as I think we will ever get to where it actually runs. So we're going to walk down here, and I'll go to the end, and then we'll pick the canal route up on Conway Drive. The canal really was built to get coal, as it was king, and the trains made it easier, and that's really the basic what happened. And the canal runs from Trinkerson to Nampanton, and there's still, up at Nampanton near the golf course, there's still proof that the canal was there. It's like a little ditch, or a big ditch, and the idea was for the canal to run into Loughborough, but the land made it very difficult. There would have been locks, and the reason, if you don't know, that canals follow a meandering route is because it's easier to follow the lie of the land, and that's what happened to this canal. So we'll get a little bit further up, and then I'm going to walk up Conway Drive and give you an idea of actually where this canal went to. It's quite good that, one Saturday, Sunday, you can come out for a stroll up here and actually remember that the canal ran here, which is fantastic. It's great history in Shepshed. It really is fantastic. Okay. Right, I'm now on Conway Drive, and this is near enough where the canal ran. It follows the same route, and it's fascinating, and it gives us a chance to actually understand where it went. And it's quite a long way out from the where the railway is, but bear in mind this was built before the railway, so you can't really pin them together, because the railway came later. So we're going to have a walk and we're going to really have a good look at where the canal actually meanders. I said earlier on when I was looking at the map, I wasn't sure whether Davis's actually knew where the canal was or if it's just a fluke, but it's tangible evidence that there was a canal here, and you know, we can still walk it although it's not here, and you know, it looks totally different to how it was a century ago, probably a bit more, that you know, that it was here. Coming out past Ludlow Place, sorry, and we carry on round. As I say, you're looking at an old map. It's very difficult to know where the actual canal was, but this is Conway Drive is as near as we're going to get to knowing this is the route the canal took. Now, the ground, everything around it will be different. When Davis has redeveloped the site, most houses are built a little bit higher than the ground level, but nevertheless, this is it. Right, this is about where the canal would take quite a bend, steep bend, as it comes and it goes back, and it follows the land. Actually, it follows the land round. Right, you can see from here the bend it takes, and on up to the top. I'll show you where the canal actually joins up with the railway again. So we'll keep walking. It's a great walk if you want to spend an afternoon up here. At this point, takes a track behind the houses. It runs behind the houses, but still on the same path. So, and this is against the new development that Davises are developing. Hello. All right, thank you. And it takes the same route, but it goes behind the houses. In fact, this is probably built on the canal bed, or the route. Follows the same route round, goes right round, it weaves right round to the top. And there you go. We're going round. As I say, it would have followed the lie of the land. It's slightly built up here, not a lot, but it is built up quite a bit now. The information that I have is that when the canal was no longer being used, the railway built the track bed on it, and this is why it's difficult to find. But we're basically on the right route. Right, here I am now on Tamworth Close, and that basically is the track that the canal took. Now this is being redeveloped, all this now, but it used to come round here. We'll walk down this cut here and we'll see if we can find any of the canal that's left. But it came down here. There is quite a dip in the ground, although I don't think that's I think it's been made up since this was developed, as I say, in the 70s. We're coming down here, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of where the canal. But if you look at the map, you can still see where the hedge goes, and follow where the canal came in. It came round here. Of course, as I said earlier, the ground's all changed now, but it came round here, and We'll go around here now. And this is the canal at this point would bend round to my right as I'm walking. And yeah, as it joins up with the railway, the bank, there's a railway bank up there. The Charnwood Forest Canal, sometimes known as the Forest Line of the Leicester Navigation, was opened between Thruxton and Nampanton, with a further connection to Barrow Hill near Worthington in 1794. And the closure of the canal was 1832, and the Forest Railway was opened in 1883. I'll give you some more details about this canal and the railway on the missive later. Right, that concludes our canal walk for this part 2. And I'll leave it to you to explore. You can explore behind me a little bit more, but this is really basically where the route took it. It took the canal from our last entry, which was part 1, at the towpath, and it follows basically Conway Drive right up to behind the houses on Tamworth Close. So I'll be seeing you soon. Bye for now.